Trump, the feds are waging an unusual, aggressive, and quite possibly illegal effort, separate from what happened that day, to now continuously try to crack down on free speech and on their perceived domestic political opponents. Yet they're citing the shooting repeatedly as the rationale. And that brings us to a major legal mistake by the Justice Department's top official, Pam Bondi, coming amid major questions also facing the FBI's top official over this very case. And so before we go any further into the news tonight and the problems Bondi's facing, I want to tell you the legal facts. Free speech is protected in the U.S. It's protected under law and the Constitution. So no single politician or attorney general or official or even a president can change that. And free speech obviously does not just include all the great stuff we might agree on, like this is a great country, or you like apple pie, or the sky is blue. As anyone with passing knowledge of this field knows, free speech is tested, and more important sometimes when it includes things that people find offensive, distasteful, even hateful. The Supreme Court has ruled it's a bedrock principle of the First Amendment that the government may not prohibit speech simply because it's offensive or disagreeable. That's fundamental. Any law student knows that, let alone a lawyer or someone who passed the bar, let alone the top lawyer at the Justice Department. Yet Donald Trump's pick, Attorney General Bondi, is, as of last night, saying something that is legally incorrect. Claiming hate speech is not protected free speech. I just showed you that it is, covered by the First Amendment, as enshrined by multiple Supreme Court rulings. And she says the government will go after people using words that the government or she deems hate speech. Now, that legally false claim coming from the person who's supposed to uphold the Constitution has drawn swift rebukes across the spectrum. That includes basic fact checks that what she said is not the law. Fox News' Brit Hume saying Bondi should know hate speech is protected under the First Amendment. Longtime lawyer and Republican Senator Ted Cruz correcting her and objecting to this attempt to seize federal power for a speech crackdown in the wake of this terrible shooting. So that's been going on here. And for Bondi and the Trump administration, it's a lot. I wanted you to have that context and the legal facts before you now see her incorrect legal claim.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle.
She's saying, quote, absolutely, this Trump administration will target you for free speech, for words, speech. So that's a big deal, even if it comes in a setting where it looks like she's just saying one more claim. Does this administration now insist that that misstated law is the position of the DOJ? Not exactly, because the law still matters. I showed you the blowback. The Constitution obviously carries the day, not what the DOJ says. And now Bondi is changing her claim to move away from speech, posting this attempt at damage control and discussing actual violent threats, referring to words that cross the line into threats and violence, she says, is not protected by the First Amendment. It's true. Courts and First Amendment law have long recognized that if words are part of something that crosses into action, to violence or crime, that is not just free speech. And this is all well known in the law. Those categories include incitement to crime, true threats, defamation, for example, where the words you use, if they're defamatory, can bring consequences. Hate speech is not on that list. As for Bondi's attempted rebrand of what she said in this intense time, well, the Conservative National Review has now dubbed it Bondi's ridiculous 24 hours. At this very time where the U.S. needs top law enforcement officials doing the real work, not playing politics or misstating the law. And it is in this environment that ABC's Jonathan Karl asked President Trump about the hate speech and these efforts to crack down on people. And he was met with presidential threats and misstatements.
And what do you make of Pam Bondi saying she's going to go after hate speech? Is that, I mean, a lot of your allies say hate speech is free speech.
We'd probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate. You have a lot of hate in your heart. Maybe they'll come after ABC. Well, ABC paid me $16 million recently for a form of hate speech, right? Your company paid me $16 million for a form of hate speech, so maybe they'll have to go after you.
Trump musing about his DOJ going after the journalist questioning him, referring to that settlement, which is about an interview which described one of Trump's civil cases, a settlement that was not about hate speech in any way, shape, or form. So his claim about that, trying to couple those together, is inaccurate. The Wall Street Journal, Fox News' sister outlet, reports Trump's preparing to go after his domestic opponents, reviewing the tax-exempt status of left-leaning groups, targeting them with laws, and identifying groups suspected of what they view as targeting conservatives. Administration officials saying perpetrators could be categorized as, quote, domestic terrorists. Terrorism is a very real thing, defined under law and by action. And having a government, any government, anywhere in the world, misuse those important, powerful tools against terrorists to go after free speech, or what Bondi, as of last night, called hate speech, or what these other organizations are doing absent committing crimes, is a very serious and potentially unlawful move. It's an escalation. Donald Trump making these public threats, trying to distort, apparently, how people speak at this tense time and important time in our democracy. And his DOJ leader, his FBI leader, and a couple other officials under fire across the spectrum for doing a lot of things that don't relate to directly solving and pursuing and prosecuting the terrible shooting we just lived through. I have a former